Lauren Daigle, one of the biggest Christian artists of the last few years. Lauren, thank you so much for joining us on The Breakfast Show on Star. Now, Lauren, performance, it's much more about, just getting on stage and singing. You need to connect with the audience. You need to convey emotion. That X factor, I guess, that a lot of people talk about. What's it like for you on stage when you really feel that you and the audience have got a strong connection?
Oh, the second I feel that the audience and I have a strong connection, I am completely free. It's like the epitome of feeling like you're flying. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm able to make jokes. I talk way too long. I find myself like, oh, wait, this audience and me, we're like good old friends. Just pull up a chair. I'm going to sit here and have a cup of coffee with you and tell you my whole life story. I'll never forget would be times where I'd go on stage and 2.5 hours would pass and my team would be like, get off stage. People need to go home. When I think about who Jesus was, I always think of him as the person who was with, WITH. He was always with someone. And to me, a lot of times we can try to get to the end result, we can try to jump ahead. But if you just simply sit in the act of being with someone, it's very transformative. It's transformative for not only the other person, but for yourself.
The song, Thank God I Do, we've started playing that. Tell us about the song. What the background to that song?
Okay, so Thank God I Do was written in the midst of COVID. Kind of, I had developed panic attacks and anxiety, and I remember this one particular night where I was completely overcome. I had two people, my mom and a dear friend, stay awake with me through the night. And that was such a representation of Jesus to me in the midst of, your fears. Perfect love casts out fear. Like he showed me himself through these people that were with me. And from that, a couple weeks later, it was kind of this cathartic moment of talking to one of the songwriters who had experienced a loved one who deals with anxiety and things like that. And we decided to write for that person, like the person who is struggling with panic, the person who's struggling with anxiety, the person who is staying awake through the night. Like, how do we enter their story and give them elements of hope, just as those people who are surrounding me gave me hope as well. So that's what the song is all about.
I mean, the song You Say was such a huge hit for you. I
Oh,
mean, it
yeah.
just took off not only in Christian circles, but in secular circles as well. Just reading some of the lines, first couple of lines from it, I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I never measure up. How do you
Mm,
keep those thoughts at bay? How do you, when
mm.
you have thoughts of, I'm not good enough, I've messed up, I'm a fraud. How do you keep those thoughts at bay?
The thing that always gets me back on track is purpose. If I can have purpose in the forefront of my mind, why am I doing what I do? Who am I trying to interact with? What messages am I trying to give? You find quickly that your inadequacies start to fall by the wayside because uh, there's this Bible verse that says, um, man may choose his path, but the Lord directs his steps, and those he calls, he equips. And so I'm like, okay, God, this is the path that's been laid before me. So I'm going to trust that you are going to equip me for this. And when I remind myself of that truth, that it isn't about me, it's about the purpose, some of those insecurities and those voices begin to quiet.
Laurel, has been absolutely wonderful talking to you. As
Oh,
I've prepared for this, I just so
thank
many
you.
aspects of your life and your faith and just your bubbly nature, your love of people, the enthusiasm that you bring. But on top of that, your voice is just so amazing, and the emotion that you can put into your songs, the feeling that you put in, it's just wonderful. So thank you very much
Oh,
for having
thank
such a big
you.
impact on so many people.